Most started streaming when they were in high school or college and never established a resume. They don't know anything about any of that, really. And then they're streaming to make just enough to make it, quote unquote.
This is actually something I've given a fair amount of thought about. There's so many content creators, VTubers, streamers, whatever, who have found some sort of success early on, or even straight out of high school, like they're still really young. And because they found that success early on, they were able to do it for like a career or a job or whatever, and they're making good money to support themselves. A lot of them just, you know, that's their full-time thing. That's what they do. And that's cool. That's fine. And the thing I think about when it comes to this is if anything were to happen to those type of people when it comes to content creation, like their career just ends for whatever reason, like we've seen content creators come and go for a multitude of reasons, right? If anything were to happen to them like that, what would they really have to fall back on? And I don't mean to like try to, you know, be negative or try to scare anybody or anything like that, but it's like a lot of these content creators that have found, you know, success at a young age when it comes to this type of stuff, they don't actually have like that resume in the quote unquote real world. You know what I mean? And sure, if you're smart about it as a content creator, you're building systems and you're putting things in place where you don't have to be a content creator in a certain form or fashion your entire life. Like you'll have things you'll be able to do once you're tired of doing this or it ends or whatever the case may be. You'll have systems and things in place to fall back on. But unfortunately, I think there are some creators who are just like doing the thing where they just stream, they just make content and just like living day to day and just, you know, they're just kind of just going with the vibe, which is cool, I guess, right? But to me, that's scary because bills got to be paid. You know what I mean? So if those people did find themselves in an unfortunate position where they can no longer do content creation, low-key, it's like you're starting all over again. Again, if you're a smart content creator who found success, you're putting things in place where you don't really have to worry about that. But there are a lot of smaller creators who are trying to get into this and they're putting all their time, energy, and resources into just doing this. And because they're going all in on content creation, they're not really putting any time and effort on building a career outside of content creation, because let's be honest, content creation is a very hard thing to break into and do it successfully in order to live off of it, right? It takes time and sadly not everybody's able to do it. The way I'm personally approaching my channel is like, it would be great if one day I'm able to do this full time, right? But the smartest thing for me to do is to just treat this as a hobby and do it as, I guess, quote unquote part-time, if you want to call it that. Like I'm not putting all my time in banking my entire life on being a successful VTuber. You know, that's insane, because I'm just going to be realistic. There's a good chance that doesn't happen and that's okay. But I think the only way that I can do that or even attempt to do that is if I keep it as a hobby or a part-time thing where I'm uploading videos consistently on my free time when I'm able to, but I'm not sacrificing my actual real life obligations for it. And the idea that I think a lot of content creators, VTubers, streamers, when they're first starting out, like they have that goal of if I could just make enough money to pay for my monthly expenses, I'll be good. And that's cool, but that's also scary because now you're just barely getting by off of this. And while that is a good starting point, making money in content creation is so fickle, especially if you're just streaming. That revenue from streaming widely varies from month to month. So to me, the idea of that is like, it's scary. Like I'm somebody who needs stability in her life. You know, the thought of just where I'm streaming and just making enough is, I don't know, it freaks me out. I couldn't do it. I'm not that type of person. Anyway, I just think if you're trying to get into this, it's best to just treat it as a part-time thing, as a hobby. Don't really go all in like that when you're not in the position to do that. A lot of people get into this and they start getting stressed out about numbers and getting verified and making it. But I think a lot of people find they're actually a lot more happier making content if they're just treating it as a part-time thing or as a hobby when you're first starting out and you still have that actual money coming in from a day job or something. And now once you eliminate that idea of having to make money off of content creation because you do have that day job and have other money coming in, you'll feel a lot better. You have a lot more freedom and you'll feel like way better making content because now you're not thinking about the money aspect of it just yet. All you're focused on is making content and making it as good as you can and putting it out, and that's it. And then you naturally grow that way and you'll be way less stressed trying to make it your career, trying to make, you know, money off of it, when in reality, when you're first getting started, you're making pennies, if that at all, and for a long time as well. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you in the next one.